But first up, China needs to act now to ensure this coronavirus pandemic never happens again. They need to stop wet markets and get serious about the spread of killer viruses like SARS, MERS and, of course, now COVID-19. Now, that won't be an easy sell for the West to convince the Chinese government that stopping centuries-old practices like killing live animals to eat at local markets is the right thing to do. But from the West's perspective, it must be non-negotiable. Non-negotiable. In fact, for the sake of our future generations, it's time that we started to take a pretty hardline approach to this. Now, if that means standing on a few diplomatic toes, so be it. Surely it's time we started playing hardball with the Chinese on pandemic risk. I don't want my grandchildren or my great-grandchildren to ever have to deal with something like this, or even worse. Now, here's what needs to happen. The World Health Organization must start being a representative body for the world, not just China. Secondly, should China fail to respond to Western demands for wet markets to be closed, we must make them accountable through the only measure they respond to, and that's their wallets. That means trade sanctions. And if that means as a country we have to become more reliant on our own fiscal demands, well, so be it. We're already overly reliant on China as a trading partner, and the time has come to cut the umbilical cord. And there's many around Australia that agree with me. Aussies need to be given a lesson in buying Australian. If you've got a choice between an Aussie product and a Chinese product, pay the extra and buy the locally made product. It's time for the world to collectively muscle up against China. Now, they'll get angry. They get angry at everything. And of course they'll threaten us. They threaten us all the time. But if we stick together, the West, that is, China will have to conform or face big problems. They talk a lot about losing face in China. And there's speculation, wild speculation, that they've played down the severity of this virus because they didn't want to lose face. They've also played down the numbers. Well, right now, China has lost face with the entire world for foisting a deadly virus upon us that is killing hundreds of thousands of people and destroying the global economy. It doesn't get much worse than that. And they need to be brought into line on this. It's a conversation between world leaders, obviously for another day. Let's get through this first. But that day where we freeze China out is coming.